I'm gonna sort out my hair. Okay, so today we're talking about another foundation. I know I said I'd ease up on them, and I am going to, but I had already bought this, and also it's one you really wanted to know about. So today we're talking about the new Marc Jacobs foundation, and it is the Shameless foundation. Mine is the fair shade, which is called Fair Y110. The only thing though is that I got this from the Sephora US, and I'll link it below. It was supposed to be available on Net-a-Porter, but it is on their website. They have some of the shades of this foundation, but not all of them, and they don't have my one. Of course, they never have the fairest one. I know it is available in the Portuguese Sephora stores, but again, they don't have all the shades, and they don't have this shade. Let's put it to the test. Again, as you know, half brush, half beauty blender, and we're just gonna get this done. I've never tried any Marc Jacobs foundation. I've been wanting to try the Remarkable foundation for such a long time, but I've never had the chance to. So if you have tried that, let me know down below if you think I should, if you think that it's a good foundation, or if you actually want to know as well. This is the Shameless foundation, Youthful Look 24 Hours Foundation, Broad Spectrum, Sunscreen SPF 25. From what I've heard, it's supposed to be a seamless second skin foundation that is long lasting, but it's not supposed to be full coverage, so we're not gonna aim at that. We're gonna aim at the more second skin type of feature here. It does say self-setting finish, invisible SPF innovation. Youthful, only better. Second skin foundations that are self-setting are rare, I'd say. Let's open this up. This is the first little swatch. It is quite yellow. It does pull quite yellow. And it isn't, I don't think it's too fair. Again, I think this would be good for my hand because they're a lot more goldeny. But my face and neck are a little bit more neutral, even rosier. And I've been using the NARS foundation a lot, and it is more rosy. And the Huda foundation is yellow, but it's a lot fairer than this. So this is the bareMinerals Luxe Performance Brush. Links are always below. As you know, I don't have a mirror. My pigmentation isn't as bold as it used to be, so I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna stop being your girl when it comes to full coverage foundations. Okay, so in terms of color, it's not too dark. If it doesn't oxidize, I think it's quite good. It's quite perfect. It actually battles a little bit of my redness, so it evens it all out, if you know what I mean. It does have that second skin effect where it just disappears into your skin and you don't know where it's going. Well, I also forgot to say, I was on Accutane. I was just taken off it. So my skin has been producing a little bit more oil. So this is more of a dry combination type of skin review. I have been using Retin-A as well, so I might have a few patches. I don't think this foundation is like accentuating them. When you build it up a little bit more, you can definitely see that it's yellow, and that the yellow is a little bit more concerning, and the finish isn't as flawless. But it isn't too dark. I think it's just too yellow. For the under eye, I'm gonna use my Zoeva 117. I think I'm using a lot of this foundation just because it sinks in so fast. This is not pumps, it's like a squeeze too, but I already squeezed quite a lot of times, like I'd say 4 or 5. I don't know, the first layer I thought was beautiful. The second layer, it kind of started getting into all the nooks and crannies and dragging out a little bit. Right now this is like a sheer to medium coverage, but I can still see a lot of my pigmentation showing through, so I'm just gonna dot a little bit on top. Let's try the Beauty Blender side before I make any rash judgments. If I do this, it doesn't run down my hand, but it is fluid. But it has texture at the same time. I'm gonna shut up. Okay. Because at the first layer, I kind of like how yellow it is because it just erases all my redness. Because I've been so red, I look like a tomato. Again, the first layer is really seamless, really second skin-like. So if I had no pigmentation at all and just a bunch of redness, this would be amazing. Great. But I do have a still like residual acne pigmentation. I'm gonna try to just build up on those parts and not go over my whole face with the second layer. So On the Beauty Blender side, everything is still flawless. It doesn't seem to be going into every nook and cranny like the brush side did. It seems more seamless. You can't see the dragging out of the bristles, which you can see a lot on the brush side. Even if I stipple it up, you can still see that it's not quite blending into the skin, and here it is. It is a little bit more yellow than I'd like, although on camera I don't think that shows, but it does even out redness like champ. It does fade into my neck quite seamlessly. I'm gonna do just a little bit here because it is a little bit yellow. It's not too yellow. It is quite fair. It's not like as dark as I expected it to be. So again, it's not full coverage. It's a medium coverage. You can apply it as sheer coverage. You can build it up to a medium coverage. It's never gonna be high or full, but again, this is not what that was intended for. So the Beauty Blender side, I'd say, yeah, let's do it. The brush side, a pass. I think it is pretty self-setting. Again, my skin is dry combination at the time, so it is producing a little bit of oils, but it's still at the same time very patchy and dehydrated. So we're gonna see how this works out throughout the day. I feel like I'm getting old because these lines are getting so pronounced, especially when I wear foundation. So under eye here, it's not too bad. Here, it's a little worse, but still decent, you know? But I feel like overall, in the pores, it's not as flawless. Here especially, it's not as flawless as the Beauty Blender side. You can see the streak of yellow here, which is where I tried to build it up a little bit more. So yeah, it's not my perfect color and the pigments are still showing through. So it is self-setting, so I'm not gonna powder it. I'm gonna do my makeup and see where we're at. Okay, it's been more than half an hour just because I was doing this extravagant look. Do you guys like it, or is it too much? Is it too vampy? I feel like when I started out, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna do something simple, but then I saw this rose liner and I went crazy. This whole look with eyes, cheeks, and lips is from the JACOBS Scarlet palette number 7. I have talked about them before, I've worked with them before. I've actually filmed me doing this look, so you're gonna be seeing that on Instagram. I've collaborated with them before and I'm so happy to do it again because I love their service. It's kind of like a subscription palette every 2 months, and you get a palette that has like eyeshadows, highlighter, blush, and lip products, and you get to do so many looks with an all-in-one palette, so it's really good for traveling as well. In the meantime, the foundation behaved quite well. It didn't do anything weird when I brushed on my highlighter or when I brushed on my blush. So it is holding up quite nicely. I'm very, very impressed. There's hardly any breaking down of things. So in a sense, I say this is similar to the NARS foundation that was just released, but the NARS one is a little bit more dewy and this is a little bit more self-setting. So with this, I didn't use a powder and like there's not a lot of oils coming through. If I don't powder my NARS, there's definitely gonna be a lot more sheen and oils coming through, which could be kind of perfect because I can mix the two together. One is very pinky, the other is very warm. Maybe I'd form a neutral superhero. I mean, I wouldn't wear this now because it doesn't have the coverage I want. I want a little bit more, and the NARS one I feel offers a little bit more buildability. It's still not full coverage, but a bit more than this. But in a few months, if everything goes well and this clears up, yeah, definitely a foundation I'd recommend. It hasn't creased in my smile lines, and honestly, it's just perfect everywhere. The only part that sucks is this one. I think it budged a little under eye. It might be because they're really dry, and it is a soft matte, I'd say, and the NARS one would be more of a satiny finish, even though it is long wear still. Little to no oil. I didn't say before, but you can definitely tell that I exaggerated in the bronzer here in the nose, but you know. There's a little wear, but minimal, and like this doesn't sink into pores. The little wear it shows is around the mouth, mostly around the nose. It doesn't have like the very, very harsh smile lines. So I think this is great for people who have dehydrated skin, want something that is long lasting and not full coverage. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more. Don't forget to click the little bell button so you know every single time I upload. Let me know about the foundations that you would want me to try or any other videos that you'd like to see from me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!